Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another readathon. This one is a 24-hour readathon and it's a little bit different because I will not be playing mini Star Hop for this readathon. I'm kind of going to do it a little bit of a different way. A lot of a different way, I guess. And I'm still going to have a competitive goal aspect to it, but it's just going to be a little less involved and I'll kind of know my goal at the beginning and it won't be like the game where I could potentially get 12 books. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin a wheel here at the beginning and it is going to tell me what my goal is for the readathon. It could be page related, it could be book number related, and there is a free spot on there as well where I can just kind of read as much as I want or as little as I want and I'll still win. I don't necessarily want that one because it doesn't give me a goal, but I feel like if I get that one, I'll still be wanting to read a ton and read as much as I possibly can in 24 hours anyway. So I'm not really worried about that one. It just kind of gives me a little bit more freedom to maybe pick fewer longer books versus shorter books, whatever. You know what I mean. So that is what I'll start with. I'll start with spinning that one to see what my initial plans, goals, end game is for the readathon, and then I will spin a wheel of prompts each time I get a new book, and that will help me to pick the book that I'm going to read. Maybe it might help me pick the book that I'm going to read. So each time I get to a new book, I will spin a prompt wheel. They are pretty easy though, just because this is my first time doing it this way. I don't know what it's going to be like, so we shall see together. I'm going to be playing it with my Patreons as well. This is just kind of a bonus readathon. I know we do one, a mini Star Hop 48-hour readathon every other month. This is just a bonus one thrown in there because I wanted to. So let's go ahead and we will spin the wheel and see what our first initial start to our readathon is. Okay, here we go. I kind of chatted with my Patreons first for a second. Now we're back to do the spinner wheel. I'm a little nervous to get 5 books or more than 1,500 pages or 1,500 pages. I think both of those would be pretty hard, but other than that, I think I could definitely do it. We'll see. Okay, here we go. Let's spin. Oh, I don't know when I was ever been this nervous about it. No way. No way. No. You've got to be kidding me. Okay, this is what's happening. This is what we're doing. It's fine. We are going to get to 1,500 pages. We can definitely do it. It's doable. It's going to be so hard and there will be no sleep, but it's only 24 hours. So do I really need sleep anyways? Probably not. Okay, let's hope that at least this wheel is nice to me. I tried to make these prompts relatively easy so that I could make this work pretty well. So let's go ahead. Let's see what we get. Oh, I really do want it to be pretty nice to me, but honestly, I don't mind if I get a book over 400 pages because I need the page count. So that's actually fine. Okay, here we go. Let's spin it. It's fine. Did we really expect it to not go away like this? Okay, I will go pick out books and we'll come back and see what I get. Okay, so for those of you who don't know how the game higher or lower is played, I pick 2 books, one that I want to read and one that I want to read less, put them out, and then I put playing cards in between them, and I have to guess whether the next one is higher or lower. It'll make more sense when I put them out, but the book I don't really want to read is The Tainted Cup. I really do want to read this one, but for the readathon, I just feel like it's going to give me less bang for my buck, if you want to say. I will get less page count for the effort that it'll take, I think. So that one will go over here. And the one I do want to read is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I just think that this one is going to be a quick read that I'll get more pages for less effort. So that one will go over here. I have my playing cards. I'll go ahead and shuffle them. They're stiff. I don't really use them ever. So we'll put out 5 cards. I have to guess higher or lower than the previous card. Aces are both high and low, and I have 1 life. Because I always lose at this game, so I have to make it a little more doable for me, otherwise it's just not fun. So here we go. First one, flip it over. What do we got? A jack. I feel quite confident in saying lower on this one. What are you guys feeling? Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going with lower. I'm going with lower. It's happening. Ooh, I don't know why I'm so nervous. Okay, here we go. We're going with lower. Yes, it's a 9. Whew, we won. We won 1. It's a little pathetic that I'm so excited about winning 1. That's how often I lose this game. Okay, it's a 9. I feel like we have to go lower again. I feel like I have to go lower again, but I am so bad and I always lose this game, like every single time I lose this game. But it just makes sense. We're going lower. Ooh, we're doing it. Oh, I'm scared. Okay. Ah, how do I do this every single time? Okay, well, it's a queen, so I have to use my life. So now I have no life. I have to get the next 2 correct. And I mean, obviously with a queen, I'm gonna go lower, but I just feel like with my luck, it's going to be a king. Like the only thing that could make me lose is a king because an ace would be high and low. Nope, I'm doing it. I'm going lower. Yes, it's a 3. A 3 is like pretty much the same situation as a queen, where the only thing lower than it is a 2. So I'm obviously going higher. Oh, the odds of me losing this are so low, yet I feel like it's still gonna happen because it always does. Okay, I'm going higher. I'm going higher than a 3, I am so scared right now. Why am I that scared? I want to read the Tainted Cup too, but I am so nervous. Okay, it's fine. We're going higher. Yes! Oh my gosh, I won, you guys. Do you know how long it's been since I've won this game? And I get to read Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Oh, this is great. This is going to be so good. I'm so excited. Okay, thank you. Thank you all for putting up with me and my intense anxiety during that. I will come back to you after I have finished this book. Okay, so it is now 9:42, so we are closing in on 10 o'clock, which means we're closing in on being 5 hours into this 24-hour readathon, and I have finished Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I think that this book might be the first in her interconnected romance books. I actually did read Yours Truly before I read this one, and I recognize the character that is the main character in Yours Truly from this book as well, and I really loved her in this one, and I loved her in the next one as well. So yeah, I just think that I like the characters that Abby Jimenez writes, and I have noticed that she has a lot of really deep things addressed in these books. Like this one talks a lot about domestic violence, DV and stuff, and there actually is a part in the back of the book, I read the back stuff too so I could count it, that gives resources for like National Domestic Violence Hotline and things like that, which I think is really great when you're writing a book on this really hard topic that people might maybe connect with or relate to have those resources back there, you know, in case it helps anybody. So overall, I had a good time with this book. I enjoyed the characters. I liked the romance for the most part. I really liked the male main character. He was just a very sweet, kind person, which is something that I really like in my romance books. And overall, it was good. I just feel that I don't know, it felt like a little bit Hallmarky, and like, I get that is a very popular thing, but I do feel like Hallmark has almost ruined the big city girl, small town carpenter man for me, just because it's been so overdone in Hallmark. And anytime I read it, I think of Hallmark, right? And I love watching Hallmark movies around the holiday, don't get me wrong, but that's kind of what it reminds me of. So I feel like that in books just did a little bit of a different effect for me. But I still really enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. I have finished it. So it is 389 pages long. So that means that I have 1,100 111 pages. Or is it all ones? Okay, now I feel like I need to do the math because that just seems too perfect. It is. It's 1,111 pages left to read. That's crazy. I'm actually really kind of happy about that. But we are 5 hours into it, and we have only read about 400 pages. So need to get going, increase my pace. And I mean, actually, I feel like I'll do okay because I'm not really planning on sleeping that much. But I'm going to chat with my Patreons real quick, and then I will be back and do the next spin to decide what my next book is going to be. Whew, I'm excited. Okay, so I really am not too fussed about what prompt we get. I feel like I'm okay with any of it. I do still have quite a few Patreons awake and on right now, so they can do a Patreon pick if that comes up. Instagram poll, I'm not sure how many people would respond at this time of night, but other than that, you know, we'll just see. We'll see what we get. I'm kind of good with anything. That's like famous last words, right? Okay. Yay! Oh, it's being so nice to me. I absolutely love that. Okay, this is great. This is a really, really great prompt opportunity. I like this. This is perfect. A free pick is perfect. Okay, I will come back with options. Okay, I am back. I have brought options. So first off, I have Fool's Assassin. This is the first book in the Fits in the Fool series. I am so excited to jump back into Robin Hobb. This one, I am not sure how fast of a read it would be. It is 630 pages, so it'll knock out a lot of the pages I have left. But I just feel like sometimes these are slow reads, so I don't know. I also grabbed Fangirl Down by Tessa Bailey. This is a romance, so it should be a pretty quick read for me. I'm guessing I could read it in like 3 to 4 hours, so this is a good possibility. I also grabbed another romance, Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I've heard from my patrons this is a quick read, and so I'm guessing maybe like 4+ hours for this one. And then I have The Atlas Paradox by Olivia Blake. This one I really want to get to. I need to get through this. I have reread The Atlas 6 in preparation for reading this one, and this one would be about 410 pages if I remember right. Yeah, so this would give me 410 pages if I read this one. So these are kind of the options that I have at the moment. And I feel like I need to take this one off, mainly because I know that these books can sometimes be a little bit of slower reads for me, even though I absolutely love them. They are some of my absolute favorite books. This world makes me cry a lot, and I just don't know if I can stay up for 24 hours if for like 3 of those hours I'm bawling. So I might be so emotionally drained that I'll be like physically drained, and it probably isn't a good call, actually. So we won't be doing that. I feel like I'm gonna take this one off too, just because I don't know, I'm not feeling like putting it on. That's really my reason. Oh, so I'm between these two. And I did look at like if I could find audiobooks for them and timing for that, how many pages. So this one would be about 373 pages, and this one would be about a little over 400 pages, so like 404. Wow, that lighting changed a lot. You know, I think I'm going with this one. This is the one I'm going to read. I will find an audiobook for it. We will bust through this book. I can do this. I'm gonna stay up. I am staying up probably the entire time now that I'm thinking about the time that I have, and hopefully I'll be able to get through this one in like 4.5 to 5 hours. That's my goal. So then I can have time for probably 2 more books, which I'll probably need to finish. So, wow. This just might be a readathon of romances apparently, which I've never done before, but this is the second romance on there, so we'll see how this goes. Welcome back. So I have finished Bride by Ali Hazelwood. It is 2:30 in the morning, so made pretty decent time actually. It took me 2.5 or 4.5 hours to read this, which I feel like is pretty reasonable for a book that's about 400 pages long. So yeah, this was actually a really fun read. I enjoyed it a lot. I liked our main character, and I think that's probably one of the main factors, whether people like it or not, I would think, is the main character definitely has a different personality and she's really unique, but I enjoyed her humor. I liked how straightforward she was, how honest she was, and I just had a lot of fun with her as a character. And I liked the romance in here, and just the banter was really fun with our characters. I liked the intrigue as well, and just overall I had a good time with this. This is one that I didn't really feel like I needed to put down, and I could just really read through it. So yeah, this was a great pick. I will say that some of the romancy stuff I was not really a fan of, but it wasn't like super off-putting for me. I just honestly haven't read that much of like interspecies romances maybe. I mean, I've done like vampires and humans, obviously everyone has, but I don't know, I just feel like it was definitely different than I have read a lot of. But overall I had a really good time with this, and I thought it was a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm really glad I picked this one. Kind of got me into the fall mood a little bit actually, which is kind of interesting because it's not really that much of fall time yet here. You can't really tell. We've had like thunderstorms and stuff, but it's still pretty warm outside. But let's go ahead and let's jump into the next spin. Sorry, I'm like very tired right now, so I don't know if everything I'm saying is super coherent, but I think it's going pretty well for 2:30 in the morning. Okay. I don't want Patreon pick. I feel like if I get Patreon pick, I will just spin again because everyone's asleep, so that's just not really feasible. I mean, I could do Instagram poll. I just feel like I would rather not. I don't know. We'll see. Let's spin. A book greater than 400 pages. I don't think I'm super sad about this, mostly because I need the page count anyway, so that's okay. I think this is fine. I'll go find some options and we'll pick one that will work. Okay, I have some options here, and this is going to be a hard decision, I think. So the first option I have is the next book in this series. So I know it goes Crave Crush, but I would have to look up what the third one is. I probably should look that up right now before I start like making plans, right? Covet. Covet is the third book in this series. And it is 872 pages, which means that this would be the final book that I would need to read. Oh, I don't think I mentioned it. This is what happens when I film at 2:45 in the morning, is I forget things. But with the length of Bride that I read, I now have 708 pages left that I need to read for this readathon. So if I did go with Covet, that would like be the end of the books I would need to read for the readathon. So that would be the final one, which is very tempting. Although I don't know, sorry, I can hold it up so you kind of know what I'm talking about. I don't know if I'm invested enough in this series to have it be a book that I read overnight. You know what I mean? If you're gonna stay up all night reading a book, gotta be a little more invested, right? I don't know if this will do it for me, but that would be a great, like, to be on the last book. That'd be nice. I also have The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett again. I think this one is going to be really engaging and I'm going to have a ton of fun with it. How many pages was it again? Just a second, I must look. It's just over 400 pages, like 412. So I would need to read another book after this, but I think this one would be really engaging and keep me up really well. And then I also have The Atlas Paradox by Olive Blake. This is a sequel to The Atlas 6, and I adored The Atlas 6. I know that The Atlas 6 would keep me awake, and so did like 3 other books by Olive Blake. So I would think this one would, but I have not heard that good of things about it. So I don't know. And this one is pretty much exactly the same length as The Tainted Cup, which is kind of crazy. 410 pages. So all over 400 pages. These are my options. Oh, this is so hard. I think I'm going to take out The Tainted Cup just because I don't have the audiobook and I would have to buy it looks like, from looking things up. And I just, already bought a book for this readathon on Audible, and so I just don't really want to do another one. So that's going to happen. So I'm between these two. I feel like it comes down to whether I want to read another book after this or not. That's a really hard decision. Oh, this is such a hard decision to make at 3 in the morning. Ooh, I think I'm going to go with The Atlas Paradox. I just think that Olivia Blake's books tend to be really, like, they pull me in. They're super, just like compulsively readable, and I just have to keep going with them. So I'm hoping that this one does that as well. That's really the main purpose of choosing this one. So after I finish this one, I will have, I think, a little less than 300 pages left. So I should be able to pick a little bit of a shorter, easier book to finish out with. I don't think I will have any time to sleep, but that's fine. I don't need sleep. It's a 24-hour readathon. I don't need sleep in a 24-hour readathon. 48 would be a different story, but 24 I can do. I can stay awake. So here we go. We're going to do The Atlas Paradox. Wow, I'm a little bit nervous about this. I hope this is a good decision. I hope that I don't end up failing because I made a poor decision, but we will see. Okay, it is now a little bit after 10:30 in the morning. I am really tired, but I have been drinking some coffee, so that is helping a bit. I do feel like my voice sounds like I'm sick, but I'm not. I'm just exhausted. But I have finished The Atlas Paradox. This took me a little bit longer than I anticipated, honestly. I thought I would be able to finish this a little bit before I started my sprints with my Patreons this morning, which started at 10, so obviously I'm on them already. But I did sleep just a little bit, just a tiny little like hour, and that might have been a mistake. I did this last time on my 24-hour too, and I just really feel like that's probably not something I should even do. But anyway, finished Atlas Paradox, and I was quite disappointed in it. I didn't really care that much about what was happening, honestly, and I kind of felt like we didn't go anywhere. It's weird because a year passed, but I know that in Olivia Blake's book, a lot of times things aren't really happening very quickly. They're not fast-paced books, but this one just kind of felt sluggish. It felt like I didn't really want to keep kind of following along, and I didn't love kind of the like divergence of some of the plot lines that happened from the difference from the beginning, the first book. I still did enjoy her writing style. I like just the flow of her writing and the way that she like puts words together, and I did like a lot of the characters still, and I was invested in some aspects of it, but it just was not as good as the first one. I was not nearly as drawn in, and I just was like in love with the first book, but this one I did not feel like that. It almost had a little bit of different vibes to it than the first one did, but I have finished it. I am now done, which is crazy. Third book down. So this was 410 pages. So I did the math, and the next book needs to be 298 pages. So pretty much a 300-page book. So I'm going to spin the wheel to get my prompt in just a minute, but since I'm still on sprints and I'm not going to spin until like the break, I am going to just get a bunch of books that could be options, so I have them here and ready, and kind of figure out how long it would take me to read any of my options, so I'm prepared for whatever my prompt is. So that's what I will be doing. And I'm going to be prepared for this because I'm going to win. I'm not going to lose at this point. I only need 300 more pages. Okay, here we go. We're going to spin the wheel, see what we get. I'm honestly not super worried about it as long as we don't get a book over 400 pages, because I do not need that right now. Anything else I would be fine with, but that one just, I don't think it can happen. I don't think I can take a book over 400 pages right now. So fingers crossed that that one doesn't happen, but anything else I think I'm going to be fine with. Yes, yes, yes. This is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. Okay, I'll bring in my options. Okay, I feel like fairly organized with my options for this one. So I have Fangirl Down by Tessa Bailey, which has been on here once before, I think already. This one will be light, easy. It's a sports romance, so that's a good option. I have The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I feel like this is just a staple of the Bookternet and you have to have read it almost. So this is one that would be good to just kind of, you know, check that box. I also have Where the Dark Stands Still, which I have been eyeing for a really long time. I feel like I love this cover so much. It feels like the vibes I would love. I also grabbed It Ends With Us. This one is really popular right now. The movie's out. I'd like to like read it and then watch the movie, see what I think. And then I have Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. This one, I feel like it came out at the same time-ish as A Study in Drowning and people were kind of comparing them. So I feel like this is one that I might really like. So I already chatted with my Patreons to kind of discuss which book we thought I should choose as the final one. And this one was removed fairly quickly. Sorry, I should tell you, I put these little sticky notes on for how long the audiobook is so that I would be prepared. And that would factor into my choosing, which it did. There actually were like 4 books that were removed because the audiobooks were too long. So this one is going to be out. I just don't feel like I'm too tired for this emotional of a book. I also was told by my patrons that this is just okay, and so maybe not read it right now because it's not super engaging, so I removed that one as well. And this one I kind of, like, I'm really excited to read it. I don't know, it doesn't feel like a read when you're exhausted type book, so we're gonna put that off to the side too. So these are the final 2 that I have on my list, and so many people were saying like this is an amazing book, it's one of my favorites, but I was told they're like this is a really emotional book and it might not be something to read when you're exhausted, so they suggest like saving this for a different time. So we're going to be going with Fangirl Down. I can't believe I did 3 romances for this. I don't think I've done this many romance books in such a long time. I think my brain power is just kind of shutting off, and romances are really good for that time because they're so easy. They just don't require any brain power to read them. So this is it. We're going to be reading Fangirl Down, and I'm kind of excited because it is a golf romance, and I have never read one of those before, so we shall see what I think. This is the final book, and it is well over 300 pages, so it'll definitely hit the amount for me, so yay! I'm very happy about this. Now just gotta finish it. Just gotta finish this. Okay, I usually don't do this. I usually don't film a little clip talking about the book before I have finished it, but I have only gotten through like 1 sprint with my Patreons and I am dying. I am 64 pages into this book and it is so bad. Like it is actually so horrible to read. It's painful. Like I'm cringing constantly reading this book. The first chapter, so there's going to be a little bit of spoilers for the first 64 pages. So if you don't want that, you can skip ahead, but this book is a golf romance. We have this professional golfer who was like really good and has kind of fallen on hard time. He's playing poorly now. And his number 1 fan, she is like obsessed with him. And she has this like weird parasocial relationship with him where she'll like talk to him while he is out golfing. She'll act like he knows her and like he knows who she is. He's seen her there, but it's also kind of creepy where he'll like look at her and be like, oh, my one fan is still there. She's the only one who's stuck with me. Everyone else has left me, but she's still there and she's so beautiful. I'm like, okay, you both are so creepy. And he is a professional golfer. He is at a professional golf event, like the kind you see on television. And I feel like whoever wrote this, Tessa Bailey, apparently does not know anything about professional golf events and has never really like watched golf is what it seems like, because this girl is like talking to him during his event and he's talking back. They're like having a conversation while he is playing in a professional golf event. And she's acting like she knows him, like she has this relationship with him and she can talk to him, give him advice. Like, it is so weird. It's like if someone is a huge fan of like a singer and then they'll go to their concert and chat with them like they know them on stage, like they have a personal relationship with them. Like it's just very uncomfortable and cringe. And then She runs out onto the golf course during this professional golf event. She goes under the ropes and runs out onto the course and is talking to him, and then he leaves and she stays out there. I'm like, this would not happen. You could not run out there. Like, when people try to run under those ropes at golf events, security takes them out. Like, that is a security risk. They do not allow that. Like, they are very they have security at these events. That is not allowed. And then she's just like allowed to stay out there when he has left. And it's absolutely bizarre. She's saying like his caddy is watching a TV show while he is playing. They would not do that because they're not allowed to. I actually don't think they're allowed to take their phones with them out on a professional. That's correct, right? They can't have their phones out. Sorry, I just confirmed that with my husband because I'm like, if I'm saying this and then it's wrong, that's embarrassing. But like, they can't have their cell phones. So that was absolutely bizarre. And she's like talking while he is swinging. She's yelling and like encouraging. No, like, you're quiet during those times. And especially if this is your golfer that you want to succeed, you're not going to be yelling at them while they are swinging. And she would know that if she knew anything about golf. I was reading the first chapter and I asked my husband to read the first chapter because he plays golf. He could not get through 2 pages. He's like, this is horrible. I can't. He's like, no. Like, the announcers would never talk like that. Like, the people would never act like that at the golf course. I'm like, I know. Like, it was absolutely bizarre. And then he has this like obsession with her after that. It's so weird that he's like, she's the only one I have left. She's the only one who stuck by me. She's the only one I have left. And then she runs this family business and she's so she is such an irritating character. And she has type 1 diabetes. And so she's like, I've been babied and people act like I can't be independent. I can't take care of myself. So like, I have to like prove that I can take care of myself and I can do this. Like, I don't need people to take care of me. Yeah, girly, I think you do, because she can't afford her health insurance and can't afford her medications and doctor's visits, which, like, fair enough. I get it. Like, the medical system is really expensive and like diabetes medication is so expensive. I get that point. But what she decides to do is, without telling her parents, she's going to cancel flood insurance on their family like golf business that they have. They own a clubhouse. She decides she is going to cancel the flood insurance on their family business in Florida during hurricane season to pay for her diabetes supplies. Now, I'm not saying she shouldn't get her supplies, but are you kidding me? So because you're too proud to admit to your parents that you cannot actually do this on your own, you decide to just kind of screw everyone over. And like, that is so stupid. And then, of course, a hurricane hits and the business is destroyed. And then this guy shows up at her family business like a creepy stalker and just like, oh, like, I'll pay to fix it all. I'll just give you all the money you want. You don't even know her. You're like creepily showing up there and lying to her, being like, oh, I was in the area. I walked here, when your car is sitting right there. Like, he's got issues. Dude is weird. And he's just like, I don't know. I can't stand him. He is so beyond annoying. But she is too. Like, they're talking about like if she's had relationships, right? And oh gosh, I have to read this part. I actually like put a sticky note, and I never do that in books because I hated this so much. And she's like, women are expected to be kind of demure, which I actually found hilarious because demure is like the thing on TikTok right now. But anyway, women are expected to be kind of demure or grateful. Most of the time, I'm neither of those things. I think it's partly that I learned to challenge myself growing up because no one was going to do it for me. I talked myself into trying things people cautioned me against, like playing sports or entering a dance contest. Like very normal things. Challenging myself and succeeding made me feel good. So I don't know, maybe I falsely expect people to appreciate when I challenge them. Like, what? Also, I grew up on a golf course where the love language is trash talking. That's how I communicate. And guys can dish it out, but they can't take it. Could you be more pick me? Like, this is painful. This is so painful to read. Like, I cannot take these people seriously at all. And then he hires her to be his caddy. and then like walks in on her naked in the bathtub and like is looking at her, and like, yeah, he turns around eventually, but then like he stays there in that situation, and it just feels so uncomfortable because there is clearly a very huge power imbalance here where he is a professional golfer and her boss, who is going to be pretty much 100% responsible for the survival or demise of her family business, and she knows it. I just feel like there's this huge power dynamic going on here, and it's very uncomfortable, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all, and I can't. Plus, the writing is not good. Like, this feels like fanfic, and nothing against fanfic, but you know what I mean. Like, there is very, very well written fanfic, but you know, you also get those like super corny, cheesy fanfics where people are just like learning to write, or they're just doing it for fun. And this is bad. This is really, really bad. And I just ranted for like 8 minutes about this book. And now I'm gonna finish it because I want to win. So. Okay, so I am back to you again before finishing my book because I have been ranting to my Patreons a little bit about this book, and they have encouraged me to DNF it. And so what I decided to, because I just can't. It is not enjoyable at all. I am on page 112, so I'm going to count 112 pages from that. Where's my phone? And then I am going to add on another audiobook that is shorter, obviously, because I have to finish it within the time frame, and because it is now 1:30, and I will be adding on another book that will like get enough pages for me to still win and get the 1,500 pages. So I had 298 minus 112, so I needed a book that was at least 186 pages long. And so the book that I've decided I am going to read is The Never King. I got this on Kindle Unlimited, and I also got the audiobook on Everand. So I looked... I know this is a little bit of a mess, but I've got this. I looked it up on Amazon, and the book is 193 pages. So since I need 186, it's going to be just right. So this is going to be my final book for the Readathon, and I'm going to finish with this instead because I just couldn't finish that one. And I feel a little bad about DNFing a book, but I feel like this is kind of a fair way to do it because I'll count the pages that I've already used, but I'll like still have to finish another book with the right number of pages in order to win. And it's still an audiobook, so it's still meeting the prompt. So yeah, that's what's going to happen. I don't think I've ever DNF'd a book during a readathon before, but here we are, a day of firsts. So I will be back when I finish this one. Okay, I have now finished The Never King. I finished it at about a little bit before 4 o'clock, so an hour before the readathon ended, and I had a good time with it. This is kind of like a reverse harem dark romance book. It's a novella. It's pretty short. It's a Peter Pan retelling, and in this retelling, the women in the Darling family, like their descendants, are all taken by Peter Pan to Neverland when they turn 18, and they come back and they're like mad, right? And so we're kind of figuring out more about why that is happening, and it was really interesting. I like dark retellings of Peter Pan. I think those are probably my favorite. I think Peter Pan is a story that really lends towards dark retellings because the original story, even though it like has been turned into a lot of children's movies, it was quite dark. So that one is done. We officially have finished the readathon. I hit my page count. So I think my final page count came out to 1,520 pages. So just barely made it over, kind of put it right on the dot with that pretty much. And here is my stack-ish. So we had The Never King for an audiobook, which replaced Fangirl Down, which was audiobook, and I stopped after 112 pages because I just could not. We had Bride, which was this one for? This was a free pick, I think. Bride was for free pick. We had Part of Your World, which was for a higher or lower that I won. Oh, it's been forever. And then The Atlas Paradox, which was a book over 400 pages. So this is a pretty productive 24 hours. I mean, I read 3 full books, part of another book, and a novella. So it was a good readathon. I had a lot of fun. I won. I accomplished my goal. I had so much fun just hanging out with my Patreons, and it was awesome to just kind of chat about the books that we're reading. I feel like some people were a little more strategic about it and put on like mangas and stuff to help them with their page count number, but maybe next time if I do another readathon kind of like this, I'll be a little bit smarter about it. But overall, I had a lot of fun. I liked most of the books. None of them were like new favorites or 5 stars, but I did have a good time with most of them. This was obviously the very clear exception, and I didn't love Atlas Paradox, but it was still okay. So I feel like overall most of the books were okay, pretty decent. So yeah, that is the end of this readathon. I might do another one like this again sometime with like these same spinner wheels and prompts. I really do like doing the 24-hour readathons on weekends where I can't really commit a full 48 hours to, and I just had a really good time this weekend. I needed this because my reading has been so slumpy lately, so I'm really glad that I was able to fit this in. Let me know how your reading is going for the month of August. It's probably going to be like September or October by the time I post this because I am so far behind in my editing. But yeah, let me know how your reading is going, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.